Welcome back to Locky Top Sports. I'm joined by Josh, Andy, and the Michigan man, Roman. I'm your host, Naveen. Hopefully getting started into a great week 4 of college football. We'll be talking about Tennessee's dominating performance last week. We'll be going around the league and predicting some of our best bets. We'll be taking a look at who's real and who's not for this season so far. And we'll be looking at some of our best tickets from last week and some of our records from last week as well. Just wanted to get started with our Tennessee update. So, Josh, could you take us through the massacre at Neyland?
Yeah, Naveen. First, man, I still can't get over what our friend Roman is doing here with this Michigan crap on. You know, like they've been embarrassed by Texas, his real team. They're going to drop out of the top 25 this week. So before we get into that massacre that Kent State took from the Vols, I'd just like to get a little bit of insight for what Roman's what he's going for here with this this Michigan gear.
Just trying to kind of, not just have it all be, 4 Tennessee homers here every single episode. Just kind of dilute the intensity.
Look, man,
we support Tennessee, which is for sure the big winner. Last week we'll cover that. Of course, I will be talking about Texas as well. But like I said last week, Michigan is looking a lot better than they have been predicted or expected to look. And you will see me back in the yet again.
Rome, I got to cut you off right there, man. Michigan is about as bad as your damn gambling picks. Okay, so we'll get to that a little bit later. But for something that is almost as bad as Roman's gambling picks and his fandom of Michigan is Kent State. They came into Neyland Stadium this week, and they earned every dime that the University of Tennessee paid them to come and get that beat down, that shellacking that they took Saturday night. I mean, even they were offered to do the short quarters in the second half. They respectfully declined. I guess they're trying to set some type of new culture there. I guess for whatever reason I guess it's a culture of getting your ass beat. I don't know, but Tennessee hanging 60 plus points on a very, less than average MAC team in Kent State. And man, I'm here for it. I have to tell you, my boy Dylan Sampson, by the way, he was our featured player this week in our nice social media preview for the new AP poll. So check that out on all of our social medias. Number 6 on the field, number 6 in your hearts, and number 6 in the polls, baby. And he almost had 6 touchdowns. I mean, he was all over the place. They ran the ball really well. I mean, there wasn't anything that was stopping us once we got to that second level into their defense. And it didn't matter who it was. We saw, our whole stable of backs getting a lot of opportunities to run this week. We saw Nico do Nico things. He had a beautiful, looked like it traveled about 60 yards in the air to Brazel there in the corner of the end zone there on just a go route there in the first half. Beautiful thing to see. Much better than overthrow Joe. Anything that Michigan reject that played quarterback for us for a couple of years was able to accomplish. So that was really good to see. And it was a 3rd and 10 play too. So, gave us a little bit of a warm and fuzzy that, Nico's going to be able to take care of things on 3rd down. And more importantly, prepare and be ready for this upcoming week to Norman and while we take on the Oklahoma Sooners. But won't dive into that just yet. Naveen, what was your takeaway from this baby seal clubbing that we watched on Saturday night?
A couple of points, couple for Tennessee, couple for Kent State. They can't make the line high enough. 49.5. There's
Bro.
7 touchdowns. The team totals was similar. Just whatever it is, it seems to be a lock, and they continually covering. Samson looks like a beast. Nico looks like a beast. Defensive intensity the whole way. Unfortunately, I've watched a lot of lopsided college football, and one marker of a great team is if the coaches are getting pissed off when they're up by 60, when their players are giving up big plays, and it seemed like that was going on. A lot of heat in the sideline when things got close. I think
30 up 30 with the onside kick.
Some no mercy experimental football going on. Great to see, and really wasn't in the same class Kent State as Tennessee. A couple points on Kent State. Shout out Kent State for finishing the game. That means that all of your Tennessee bets cashed. One of the hotter topics of our group chat last week was what happens when they reduce the minutes in a game when it's very lopsided. Kent State did not take the opportunity to do that, while I believe the South Alabama Northwestern State game did. That affected us in some of our bets as well. But I think I heard it on the broadcast, right? Kent State has a $30 million budget for athletics in total. And this game generated 1.3 million. The next game versus Penn State, another 1.3 million. So if you think about that right there, that 8 day span is 10% of their budget, just right there. And they're providing good customer service to their opponents and finishing out those games. They're like, not only can you beat us by 50, 60, 70. We're going to complete the game and make sure that your bets are cashed. So great effort from Tennessee. Great effort from Kent State. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, not much to make out of the scoring or the spread, honestly, just because, you're playing a different sort of a level of school. But that being said, I think one thing that anyone cannot deny is no matter what opponents that they play, they're able to put up points, right? Chattanooga, Kent State, NC State, it doesn't matter. They're gonna put up points, and I think people give a lot of shit to SEC schools for scheduling these teams, like Kent State. Famously, where Nick Saban went, and Bama would always schedule them every 4 to 5 years. So Kent State comes to Tuscaloosa, gets paid $2 million to get massacred 55-3. But hey, look, I remember, there was a time where Naveen, Roman, and I were looking at Bama minus 45. And they would not cover it against Kent State.
Yeah.
So, I want to say
we're losing to Georgia State at home. Shout out Jeremy Pruitt.
I mean, it comes down to the fact that, hey, Tennessee's not the only team that's playing FCS schools. A lot of SEC schools do. And I think one thing that a lot of Big Ten schools complain about is that it's a free win. I agree, it's a free win, but is it any different than playing Iowa or Iowa State or Wisconsin or Illinois? Those are all free wins.
Did you just compare Iowa State and Kent State?
Yeah, I mean, it's one's in Iowa, one's in Ohio, but they're all flyover states.
Sure.
They have the state in the name, and they're gonna get their ass kicked, right? At the end of the day, I would actually, for the same reason that Naveen said, at least Kent State is getting paid to get their ass kicked, but Iowa State is not even getting paid jack shit. They're just getting wrecked no matter what, right? So I'd rather be Kent State coach than Iowa State coach when I'm playing this SEC schools. At least I'm getting paid, $2 million to get, get absolutely nuked. And, I get to play my backups. I get to collect $500,000 a year, sitting on the sidelines, have courtside seats. That's beautiful. That's a great job. I'd rather be a Kent State coach.
Yeah, and not only did Kent State coach get to play a lot of his backups, but so did we. I mean, Tennessee amassed over 740 yards of total offense, or excuse me, total yards. Passing 284, rushing yards 456. I mean, every play Tennessee ran was nearly a first down. It was 9.3 yards per play. Had 32 first downs. Ran 80 plays. Poor Kent State only had 48 plays. Right, so. It's insane. No matter how you spin it, it was a bad opponent. But when you look at the bench, a lot of people that you hear names typically is like Nico, Dylan Sampson, Dante Thornton, all them. But when you look at like names like Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, Hunter Barnes, I mean, Deshaun Bishop is like our third string running back, and he had 7 carries for 120 yards. So.
He played Kent State. Calm down.
Look who's here. Look what the cat dragged in.
Yeah, so
it doesn't matter if it's Kent State or Louisiana State. I mean, Tennessee usually beats them, but unfortunately, a team down in Columbia cannot beat these schools with the name state in their official names. I don't know. LSU seems like a very easy opponent. We were actually. The whole member of the Lucky Top crew personally went down there, witnessed the massacre. I'm sure you guys caught us on TV too. Naveen sitting there, very, very, very dark, watching his bets evaporate and all that. So, hey, if the great state of South Carolina and the flagship school could also do the same, that'll be awesome. But unfortunately, they're not able to pull that out. So,
well, I like how Chase just jumps in. I mean, we do invite him onto our show. We're going to talk about that game here in a little bit. He just jumps in, no context whatsoever. We're not over here pounding our fucking chest because we beat Kent State. All right, we're not doing that. I mean, he's not even muted now. I think he's just lip syncing like he's muted. But we're not doing that. We were just kind of talking about how a lot of backups got, some good run. So
hey, look, at least Tennessee had the decency to pull the starting quarterback, not even before the first half was over, right? Like teams like Ohio State. I remember when CJ Stroud was there. This guy would be out there in the third quarter, fourth quarter, slinging against Michigan State, Rutgers, Toledo, throwing 6 touchdowns, and I was like, really? Like you're out there in the fourth quarter throwing your 6th touchdown against Michigan State?
I was getting pretty annoyed with Josh Heupel there for a little bit because I was ready for him to take Nico out, and I was getting more annoyed at the fact that Nico was just like continuously running the ball and just taking some shots. I'm like, come on, dude. Like one big takeaway from the game is Nico needs to learn how to slide. I don't know who needs to get him, a sliding coach or whatever.
Tony V, man.
But yeah, they need to send him over there, get some reps with Tony V on some base running to get that slide down pat, man, because he's gonna get teed off on, and he's still lacking a little bit of weight in that ass. If one of those linebackers come downhill on him, that's gonna be all she wrote. So.
Send him
Nico,
to
please.
the school of Mr. C.
I'm
slide
begging
to
you.
the right, slide to the left. Yeah,
please, God, slide. All right, get down. All right, I think we kind of belabored the 71-0 shutout by the Vols over Kent State. So
Naveen, one thing I want to jump before we wrap the Kent State discussion is how. These games, and going back to Naveen's point about 10-point quarters, Tennessee offered them. They declined. What a great customer service, right? That's how you get invited to play the SEC schools and get paid $2-3 million to get your ass beat. If you
maybe
you want to let their other,
but maybe he got paid another 3 betting on the game itself.
Yeah.
So
you never know nowadays.
Not to go.
You need to check the wife's DraftKings account. Yeah, for sure. And one thing that really does nice is it's like these schools. What was the budget again, Naveen?
30 million.
30 million. So literally 10% of their budget came from that one beatdown, and so I think that's a very lucrative business. We can't believe how this coach. I don't know if any one of us out of us 5 that's on here could have been on the sidelines and did any worse than the results, right? Like the coach there was, that was just like a mannequin. Like he was just there to collect the paycheck, $500,000 a year. What a nice gig. So if you guys know anyone that has connections to these FCS schools, we're open for employment. We'd love to coach an FCS school. We'll go Tennessee, Ohio State, South Carolina, Michigan. Anybody, just if Kent State or any other FCS school want to hire us and make the trip, we'll be glad to do it.
Yeah, and before we get into the AP poll reaction, guys, I think the biggest question, and I'm shocked that we don't have this in the banners for a topic, but we got a huge trip to Norman coming up this weekend. Me and Andrew will be in attendance for this game on Saturday, 7:30 kick. Oh, really? Oh man! Yeah. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah. So we're taking bets here. Is he gonna wear his his Michigan gear or his Texas gear, or will he wear one of our supplied Camara gear?
He's gonna have to wear some Tennessee gear, man.
I could also pull a book from Andrew Kim here and wear Texas gear and then go to the game and say, hey, it's not a big deal that I'm wearing Texas gear here. It's your rival anyway.
I mean, if I were you, Roman, honestly, I would wear Texas gear just to piss off the people
showing
around
up with
you.
Tennessee gear to that LSU game against Florida.
As
I heard so much from the fans.
As Tennessee's beating that ass, you're there with your Texas shirt, throwing horns up. It's gonna piss off a lot of Oklahoma fans, and honestly, that
all right.
Let's be honest.
Maybe I'll do that.
That's the reason why we go to away games, right? Like I showed you guys
just a troll, huh?
The 7 years ago picture from 2017. Very dark times,
we gotta find that. Can you pull it up and share it on the screen?
Yeah, hold on.
You don't have to stop what you're doing. You can bring it in a little bit, but
you talking about when all y'all went to the South Carolina game?
No.
We're not talking about South Carolina yet, Chase.
I knew that was a dark day as well. I didn't know if that was the dark
it was
day
a very dark day. But here, let me share my screen.
I've been to Willie B 4 times. I'm 3-1 all time at Willie B. So it's all good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's all about your last trip, though.
Yeah. Here we go. So here's what we're looking at here. This is a screenshot from.
Can you zoom in a little bit? Can you zoom in on the photo?
Yeah. Screenshot from
there you go.
SEC on CBS. And here's
body language says it all.
Yeah, the body language. You can just tell what happened here.
You can call out the score just by looking.
It's funny. I'm actually wearing the same hat that I was wearing in this game. You see the navy with the orange tee. Anyway, so it was. We were just. I think this was the first quarter. They were marching down the field towards us, and we just saw immediately that the pass was tipped off our receiver here. Is that
that's
Callaway?
That's Marquez Callaway.
And you see the Florida DB here, and he just looking at the ball like, is this really? And then there was
returned it for a pick six.
Very, very beautiful pick six. It's funny. Facebook reminded me there was 7 years to yesterday, actually, I think it was. Monday was the anniversary.
Yeah.
But, that game, as you can see, Josh and I were, in the end zone, maybe 3 rows up, and we not only witnessed the pick six in our face, but also
Eve to Cleve.
2 hours later, in the fourth quarter, as the time expired, they drew.
Game-winning Hail Mary.
Game-winning Hail Mary right on our face. And I will tell you guys, Chase, if you saw Josh that moment, when they threw the Hail Mary, I think you would pay to watch Josh just, looking like a sad dog.
Bro, I was like...
We got back to the hotel.
You were hoping?
I was apoplectic, man. I was losing my absolute.
This was Butch
shit.
Jones at his peak. So we went back to the hotel room.
Yeah, it was his
very
last
shitty
year
hotel
in
room.
Tennessee. That's right.
And just went to pick up Domino's. Came back and just eating pizza. Didn't even want to go out. Anything. Just stayed depressed. So look, these are the types of things that you want to. I'm not necessarily saying you want to, but the flip side is when things go well, you get to gloat, and it's glorious.
We've came a long way. Needless to say, we've came a long way from there.
So anyways, I just thought that I would mention that, it's like, remember when we went to LSU, you showed up in a Texas shirt, Eugene showed up in an Oklahoma shirt. What was it, 48-0? And LSU fans all started, dogging on Eugene, right? So just imagine that, but at an Oklahoma stadium.
That was
as
good.
we're dogging
That was
them, you're gonna be in a Texas shirt. People are gonna want to talk shit to you, but they can't. They can't, because they know they're gonna get their ass kicked. So
Naveen, when we talk about the game, what are you most looking forward to? As far as like keys to Tennessee getting a win on the road. I know we've talked about in the past where Josh Heupel and the Vols have kind of struggled on the road, and I know our good buddy Chase down there in the box in the lower left hand corner there also has mentioned how we went to Willie B a couple years ago and it didn't work out for us. I stood in the piss pouring rain at Georgia, and when we lost, when it was number 1 versus number 2, I also witnessed some other bad losses on the road. We won't get into. Obviously, we just showcased one of those, but under Josh Heupel, outside of the exception of, I think, Kentucky on the road, LSU on the road, Pitt on the road, and Missouri on the road, I think he's won 4 or 5 road games. We go back to last year, had a 21-0 lead going into halftime against Alabama, blew that, got absolutely curb stomped against Missouri on the road last year.
Don't forget the swamp.
I was about to go there.
Chomp, chomp.
I was also in attendance for the last experiment of Tennessee going to Florida last year. So Naveen,
Yep.
Keys, man, how does Josh Heupel go back with all the emotions that are going to come out of this game, and the Vols get a big time road win to start SEC play?
I think number one thing will be getting to the quarterback. I believe that we need to see 5+ sacks. We need to see a variety of different types of defensive looks against Jackson Arnold.
Yep, that's
right?
it, Jackson Arnold.
And main thing is, like, I'm not going to this game, but this is a revenge game for me. This is the first game that I went to in my
What started your fanhood, right?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield ripped my soul out. And you guys need to go and avenge me for sure. And I just want to see consistency out of Dylan Sampson. I want to see, Nico, just keep doing the same thing, honestly, plus slide.
Should we, you guys remember when we went to LSU, we all jumped on that tiger statue, took a bunch of pictures, talking a bunch of shit. What's going to be there this time is they're going to have I think they have a statue of Baker Mayfield, because he's a Heisman winner and all, right?
Can we also do some props on under over years consumed by injury here?
Yeah,
at the game.
I think we're going to talk about that a little bit
at
too.
the game.
So there's a couple places. There's a couple places we're going to have to check out while we're there. I've done a little bit of homework. Ray's Barbecue and another place called Mott's. So Mott's has this alcoholic beverage called the Sooner Swirl, and apparently it's a lot of alcohol and nothing else.
Am I allowed to say anything about Tennessee? Because I got something I'd like to say.
Yeah, no. And we was about to come to you there, Chase.
But this is about Tennessee. This isn't about South Carolina. This is about Tennessee.
No. We want your opinion about Tennessee in this matchup.
I think Tennessee has the easiest schedule left in the SEC.
Really?
You have 3 games,
which
left.
is why I said that Tennessee is shaping up to be Michigan of last year.
You get
is
you got
the Michigan of last year.
You got Oklahoma, and I don't
Mhm.
I don't think that Oklahoma's really that great. I think they're riding their name right now. And then of course you got Bama, but if you've watched Bama, that's not Bama that we're watching.
Not really good.
And then you get to go play Georgia, and don't hold Georgia Kentucky game. Georgia always does this for some reason. They go in the SEC, their first road game, and they act
Well,
stupid.
the last 3 years at Kentucky, they've played exactly like they did.
That's what I'm saying.
Weekend.
It's like they hiccup right there, but it's like, in all honesty, of all these SEC teams, and it's worked out for Tennessee. It's nothing against Tennessee, but I don't think that any other SEC school has an easier road to the championship than Tennessee.
Oh, Texas.
Have
you seen Texas's schedule?
Go ahead, Naveen.
I'd encourage you to look at the Texas schedule, Chase. But as we close out this topic, I want 2 things from each of us. I want a score prediction for Tennessee, Oklahoma, and I want a beer count for Andy and Josh combined. So I'll start with
combined. Is it for the trailing 24 hours or like a Saturday morning
at the game?
No, like more when you wake up.
Yeah.
So when we wake up on Saturday,
we're not gonna know the count at some point. So I think we have to start at the wake up time, which is
but I only ask
which is by the way,
it's an incredibly long Saturday, right? So we have a college game day starting at 8
a.m. Just count how many fucking beers we drink. It's okay.
And
when we wake up,
the game is not until 7 o'clock. So you gotta realize that's like a full 12-hour.
We're gonna pace ourselves.
Is he gonna make it to the game?
I win 1.
Okay.
I will set the line at I want to say 17 and a half between the 2 of us, Josh and I. 17 and a half.
17 and a half?
Yeah.
By noon or
No.
By the end of the game. By the end of the game.
Because you also realize, like, going to these college football games, you go to
I'll take the over.
You miss
and
30 minutes of action because of the line, like, how, like, incredible.
Oh, you guys are not going to the bathroom. I haven't seen you guys go to the bathroom one in the game. No. Nobody's going to the bathroom.
We're just gonna soil ourselves.
Yeah, man. Listen.
All right. Well, what we'll do
right in the field.
You
guys have good seats, right? Just
all right.
We'll do some Instagram lives. We'll go live on X, and we'll make sure that we share some of the tailgating scenes with the with our listeners, viewers, and subscribers. I will say what was very interesting about preparing and getting the logistics sorted out is that Oklahoma actually, they have a university ran tailgate, which is very rare. Like, I've never seen that anywhere, and I feel like I've been to maybe not as many as Josh, but I've been to a fair amount of college football stadiums in my life, and no universities ever had this, like, oh, hey, this is like a tailgating club, and they sell a pass where you go in and it's provided food and drinks. Like we were fortunate enough to find a local tailgate when we went to LSU, and again, shout out to LSU, College of Arts, for hosting us. Had a great time, but there wasn't like a thing that's widely available for everybody and anybody.
LSU can eat a dick.
Yeah, it's we just happened to be lucky enough to find that, and we were grateful of their hospitality. We still beat their ass, unlike South Carolina, but that's a story for another time, Chase. But Oklahoma, they actually run a tailgate, and tickets are, from what I've gathered, and I've did some research, they basically give out set these up for season ticket holders. So when you have a season ticket, you also get passes to the tailgate, and it's a tiered approach based on how much money you donate. So let's say if you donate below $5,000, maybe you get 2 tailgating passes per home game, so 12 passes total. If you donate between $5,000 and $10,000, you get like a 24 passes total for the season. So like that's 4 passes per home game, right? And these season ticket holders are basically just flooding them out on the market, on StubHub and SeatGeek. So we've actually bought tickets to those. So it'll be very interesting. We're gonna go to the Oklahoma official sponsored tailgate. Us all decked out in orange, and Roman decked out in Texas burnt orange. So that'll be very interesting. I'm actually that is my honestly. That's the moment I'm looking forward to the most is when Roman shows up to this alumni tailgate in Texas gear.
It's the last thing you'll remember that day.
Absolutely.
After
For
that,
sure. After that, it's gonna be just a
that's gonna be Sunday
hazy
morning
recollection of like, oh, okay, that happened.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go Tennessee 35, Oklahoma 17.
Okay.
17.
Decisive win on the road.
And how many beers?
How many beers? I'm gonna hedge my bet here. I'm gonna say that we easily take care of 24 as combined.
Easily.
24 pack. Easily.
That's
Okay,
a joke.
so, Roman, same question to you. Score prediction and how many beers and Josh?
Look, I had the greatest displeasure of watching or listening to the entire Oklahoma Tulane game last week, and I've heard everything there is about Oklahoma and all the problems that they have.
Damn.
Which tilted the living fuck out of me because Tulane still managed not to cover my bet, as has happened with 15 other bets.
Hate to see it.
That's another story. But the if I had to draw a positive out of that is Oklahoma has problems on problems on problems on problems. It is, the O-line just doesn't exist. Playing third stringers, fourth stringers, transfers, people playing different positions that they don't play in practice. It's a miracle for them they didn't lose last week. It's a great thing for us because now we get this ridiculous -7 spread. I was surprised because the Tennessee us.
There we go. Look at him. He's coming around.
Listen, this is like when you go on Fox News,
USC, and he'll be part of us too. Look at that.
Look, you turn on Fox News, and then they'll bring like one, liberal person there.
I see you down there, buddy.
That's me. That's me here.
You hear this accent, son? We don't swap sides around here. You hear this accent?
So look, I am going to predict a shutout.
Whoa, a shutout.
A shutout. We've talked about this since the beginning of the season. In college football, O-line, D-line matchups and quarterback matchups is what matters most. It's a disaster of an O-line for Oklahoma. There's going to be defensive scoring by Tennessee. They're just not going to be able to do much. And I think at some point in the second half, they'll just shut down and crawl into their little shell like a fucking turtle and just kind of move the rock 5 yards at a time, just trying to protect the loss. But look, what happened with Texas last year?
Are we going to ask them for 10-minute quarters in the second half?
That's the thing, right? That's why I think maybe the one is still a bigger lock, just because you want to think about protecting your players. I mean, I know Kent State got the memo, and they probably told them, hey, for each player you injure in our team, we're taking $200K off that check. So there was no injuries going on. Oklahoma, you don't know, right? Fourth quarter, you don't want a fluke injury to one of your players. But look, Texas shut them out. This is coming. This is coming.
Give me the score, Ron. Give me the score.
Over 24 beers, easy, guys. That's the best bet of the week. I mean, if this was a real bet, I'd be running to the window right now. With all
give me the score.
I wish I could bet on that.
49-0.
What? 49. Not a 50 burger. Damn. All right, Chase. Let's move along to you, man. Outsider, but ball kind of. So let's see what you got. Yeah, I mean, you root for South Carolina, so that's you got to put asterisks beside it. But go ahead, man. What's your prediction for Oklahoma hosting Tennessee?
First off, I'd like to say we're both Atlanta Braves fans, so your argument just went out the window on that.
There you go.
Also, 8 beers apiece, you're guaranteed 24. That's 8 apiece, pussy.
No. We were just counting me and Josh. We weren't counting Roman. Just between me and Josh is the beer count over 24.
Yeah, 12-pack apiece. But anyway.
If we include Roman, we're going to go easily over 50. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, don't put me in there.
You just need an instigator. Like,
that's
like
beers. I'm really down to see what this Sooner Swirl shit's all about.
You,
but anyway.
You guys need a little more child trauma. We need more than 12 beers as a pregame. Anyways, I think Tennessee blows the doors off Oklahoma. I think it's going to be like 41. I think it's going to be in the 40s, and I think Oklahoma gets 10 points.
Say what?
40-10? Oh, yeah, I had 49-0. I mean, it's the same
okay.
thing.
Yeah. Oklahoma will score. They're going to squeak out a field goal, and then it's going to linger, and right there at the end, they'll get a touchdown at the end. But yeah, Tennessee's going to. I haven't been hyped on Oklahoma the whole time. I said at the very beginning whenever we were doing the SEC predictions of all the teams coming into the SEC and the SEC as a whole, I think Oklahoma was going to be at the bottom. I said Texas. I thought they were going to be right up there at the top, but I thought Oklahoma was going to be at the bottom. They were a middle of the pack team last year. I don't see where they're getting better. And watching from week 1 to 3, I don't see where they got better, and they're not playing anybody. Like, if people try to stretch it a little bit and they're like, well, Houston's a good team. Okay. Boston College is a good team, I guess. And they held on to Mizzou for a while. I mean, is that what we're rating stuff on? They were a good team. Dude, if you're a great team, you're one of the top teams in the country. We're not going toe-to-toe with Tulane. That ain't how this works. You either are or you ain't, and they ain't. So, and I think Tennessee exposed them. It's the first real team they're going to play, and Tennessee's going to beat the doors off them. Tennessee's a good football team this year.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I want to get into some of the updated rankings that we have from the AP. I think at the
top five. Let's go.
Well, top 6 if we want to include.
Well, I know we're in the 6, but let's look at the top 5.
Yeah, so let's look at the top 5. Can everybody see this? We got Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Bama, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Interesting, we're above the ad now. We have officially leapfrogged.
Look at that. Missouri.
Frank's team, Miami, is up there now. They increased 2 spots. Oregon, Penn State, USC.
There's a purple and gold team I thought I saw around there somewhere too.
Purple and gold.
There they are.
They're at 16.
There they are.
The highest ranked one-loss team, LSU. And I think that's where we should.
That's what happens when you have 12 men on offense and defense.
That's probably 11, where we should. That's probably where we should stop 11, the poll right here.
11 players and 1 referee every set of downs. So yeah, that's LSU football.
Oh man, here we go. We got blame the ref guy. We got blame the ref guy on here today.
Nah. If y'all hold tight, Naveen, if you'd like to give me about 5 minutes here, I will rip this apart. All I need is 5.
Hold on.
Yeah. No, let's tell you right now. Let him have it. Just give him 5.
We don't care.
Let me tell you. We don't care.
We don't care.
Yeah. Keep ripping up McNeese. Keep ripping up McNeese State and jacking off Nico every Saturday. I hear you.
All right, Jim, go ahead.
Hey, you ain't played nobody either. You ain't played nobody either. Don't get loud.
Don't
get loud.
Wait. What?
Hurt
Chase,
people.
what is your grievance? What is your grievance?
By the end of the year,
no. Listen, guys. Hurt people, and that's what Chase is going through right now. He's hurt. And he's trying to hurt everybody else.
And show us where LSU touched you. Show us on the doll.
On the doll. Hold up the doll and show us.
Hold up the doll and show us where exactly does it hurt.
Or you could just stand up and you could just point right here. There you go. Right to the ticker. That's where them Tigers got you.
Nah, the Tigers
ain't where they got you.
Tigers didn't give me there. Tigers didn't give me there. The guy that looked like a zebra running up and down the field saying that there were catches when the wide receiver's knees are out of bounds and he's on his knees catching footballs and like, that's a catch. And we're like, Kirk Herbstreit hates the University of South Carolina.
Here we go.
No,
This is classic Dallas Cowboys fan trying to relate it was a catch to his college football team. Look, man, that's low hanging fruit.
Naveen, pull the picture up.
No, he's not coming to help you.
LSU
You're out there by yourself.
Catching football on his knees out of bounds for a catch. They went back and rewound it, and they looked at it. They're like, no, he's out of bounds.
Anybody got that? Anybody got that? Anybody got Naveen? Can you get that for us?
I'll get it. Give me a couple minutes.
Before we get there, here's the thing that I've learned. I learned a very painful lesson.
Talk to me.
A few years ago, we had the most famous pass interference play where my Saints got absolutely robbed. Right.
Yes.
And the year after that, we allowed the challenge to the pass interference rule. Right.
Yeah, with the Rams. Yep, I see it.
And I was there, with heaps on that game. Andy was there.
How much?
Everybody.
Heaps.
Man,
say it again. Heaps.
There were many zeros on that game. And the thing is, when I lost that, my friends didn't. Obviously, nobody came to comfort me. But Andy said a very true thing. It's like, how the fuck do you end up in that situation where you have the game in your hands and then you get to a point where you can give it away? And you look at that, right? At that last few minutes of that game.
Absolutely.
Can see how Sean Payton just gave that away and put himself in a situation to be stuck with his pants at his ankles and that pass interference play, whatever. How does that happen, Chase? How did you get to that?
They were up 17-0, bro.
They were up 17-0. We had the money line.
Yeah.
How?
Let me just
give me one more bad call from that game.
Well, let me just replay this.
Give me one more
because I was the one who told Roman, because Roman was very furious, and I told Roman as he recalled,
bottles were flying through the window.
I said, Roman, if Saints were really all that fucking great and Sean Payton was this great coach who thinks he's fucking genius, why did the game come down to the last possession where you need that catch on, fourth quarter, under 2-minute warning to win the game, and you didn't get the call right there, and that's how your bet comes down to? That's a bad bet.
Well, I'd push back on that a little bit, Andrew. The margin of error. Hold on. The margin of error in the NFL. The margin of error.
I know some Tennessee.
All right, so let me finish my thought while I have the floor, right? So
margin of error. The margin of error
in NFL is very great, but
there you go.
Just hear me out, right? Like, why is it that play the one that you're going to, right? It's because it happened at the end. It's no different than like a shot that someone shoots and at the end of fourth quarter versus a layup that you make in the second quarter. 2 points are 2 points, right? Like, same thing. Touchdown, 6 points is the same whether you scored in the first quarter or the fourth quarter. Just because you got cucked on the last play of the game doesn't mean that it was like a close and you should have won, right? Same thing with LSU and South Carolina here. As Josh and Roman said, they were up how many again, Roman? How many points?
17-0.
Yeah, 17-0. How do you let it come down to that one?
They were up. I mean, they were winning the game at the end too.
No, it isn't just one call. Listen,
if you hold tight,
Rocket Sanders, if they would have kept giving the ball to Rocket Sanders, y'all would have been fine.
You're still ridiculous. If you hold tight, I just told you I'll break it down for you. All you gotta do is just
break it down. Let's give Chase the floor.
I know it's hard. All right, number one, I will say this: I've never blamed refs for a game ever, and I'm a Cowboys fan, and Dez did catch it against Green Bay. All right. I've never blamed the refs. All right, there's a lot leading up to it. And South Carolina did a bunch of self-induced trauma to themselves throughout the game. There was so many broken tackles. There were so many bonehead plays. The quarterback went down. We didn't have him after halftime. That really impeded our offense. Either way, when you break it down, over 100 yards in penalties, okay? And listen, If the referees want to throw flags, right? Throw flags. 2 pick sixes called back. One of them for a horse collar. All right. Number one, defensive end grabbed him by the shirt on the shoulder, he was getting held by the tackle. That's why he only grabbed him with one hand. And as he was pulling him and going down, the shirt went to the back, and they called it a horse collar. Number one, it's not a horse collar. Researched it, Googled it, and I called the SEC commission this week. It wasn't a horse collar. All right. Number two, the other one that they called back, and you can write it down, and all y'all know that it's true. When you throw a pick, when you get up as a quarterback, you're fine. But if you start running towards the play, you now become a defender. That is football 101. It's still in the rules. The defensive end pushed him down. Two-hand push in the shoulder pads. Didn't clean him out. There was no Joe Burrow hit. Pushed him down. Another flag. Took that pick six away. All right. And then South Carolina goes to finally drive again in the fourth quarter. We went through all these flags. And then we go down. They call pass interference on a receiver who is on the opposite side of the field and 2.5 yards away, and they said it was pass interference. That doesn't make sense. Even the announcers were getting to the point of like, we don't see the flags. They called a false start right after that. We get a first down. They pulled it back again. They said, all right, we're doing this. And then they called another false start. And they showed the replay like 4 times. There's nobody to move. The defensive line shifts. Nobody moves. So what I'm saying is, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, water polo, Easter egg hunts, we're all going to the backyard and we're going to fist fight. I don't care what the sport is or how you do it. In no shape or form does a referee have a chance to impede the outcome of a game. Quit inserting yourself in the game. And the head referee has already been investigated by the SEC before for the same thing. And guess who they were playing when he got investigated? LSU. So this is a common occurrence with Autry. He can go to hell, and I hope he burns the whole time, and I get a front row seat. If I got to get down there to watch it, I'll go down there to watch him. He's a cocksucker because that ain't right. It ain't right. You took the play. SEC is so hard to win it. It's so hard to win games.
He sounds like he's a cock beater, not a cocksucker.
Either way, your hand's on the cock, which you know all about that whenever you got deep-throated when you come to Willie B the last time with your buddy up there, Andrew. But anyways, I mean, they knew our play.
I never made it to Willie B.
He's never been to South Carolina.
They knew our plays. They knew our play. Whatever.
Chase, what happened to South Carolina this week? What happened to South Carolina?
Ask the referees.
I mean, that pick six, the pick six that didn't happen.
Which one?
I mean,
the first one or the second one?
Well, the personal foul after the pick six, 20 yards away from the play to steal the game.
One? How about the other
one? I mean, the one with like 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left.
The one with the horse collar that he grabbed my
what's
shoulder.
Interesting. Like, the thing is this. I'll buy. I think the refs do damage to the games. I'll buy it. But the thing that I'm hearing that for the last like 10, 15 minutes of the game, there were all these little fucking things that went like this way and that way, right? Like you're really gonna say Chase, you're really gonna say that going first and 10,
it's one way.
First and 15 really made a difference?
When it's third and 2.
There's no way.
No, when it's 3rd and 2 and you're driving, and then they call a false start, and even the announcer says it's not.
Where'd Andy go?
No,
and then you do it again.
But this is the difference between
3 and 2 and 3 and 7 is huge like in the fourth quarter.
Look, a play that defines the game, the entire game hangs on that play. You have an obvious and egregious foul. Then
that's not egregious.
Up in the air. But if you're gonna say that, they called a false start here, and then they didn't call an offsides there, and then the guy tugged them a little bit over here, and that like disrupted some offensive, like that's kind of weak. That's kind of weak.
It's definitely weak.
From there to there.
Let's make it.
And the 49-yard field goal. How could you not make the 49-yard field goal at home? How?
Well, he did the first time. He missed the second one. But what I'm saying is, if we're gonna go off that weak stack, all right, then let's throw the flags both the same ways. Look at the replay. Defensive ends got held the entire game, the whole game. There was one time where the dude wrapped his arms around him and tackled him from this great offensive tackle that they have. Dude held the whole game, and the referee stepped over him after he tackled him down around his back. Referee stepped over him to get to the other side. And we're like, at some point, you've got to look and say, listen, if you're a referee, you call your flags, you're going to either hold it or you're not. Are we going to call all the holdings all night long because you're going to do that? Then you're going to call hold all night long because it's football. People hold. That's what it is. All right? Hold that. Or we're going to back up, let these boys play football and let it ride. And the SEC is normally
to back up Chase's claim.
Zoom in a little bit. Zoom in.
Yeah, it's not it's not unseen before that SEC does something sus. Guys, watch the ref. This is Alabama. Ref's coming. First down. I'll find a better GIF. But
whatever.
I figured it out. This is what happened last time we played Michigan. I knew you had something going on.
Oh, Clowney hit.
Oh,
right?
don't lie. You caught sack. Y'all did it last time. Ball don't lie. Y'all screwed us on the first down, and then Clowney made your entire program a poster. I got it.
Hey, I could get on here and talk about 2021 Tennessee Ole Miss, but I'm not going to. We lost. Nothing we can do about it. We did throw a lot of shit on the field, to include golf balls at Lane Kiffin. But I'm not blame the ref guy. I expected better from you, Chase.
Y'all are hyped right now, dude.
I am.
University or something like that.
Can we not make this a fucking South Carolina memory lane episode?
Here it comes.
Oh, look, I am blame the ref guy, but I'm gonna blame the ref when there was a reason to blame the ref. I'm not gonna blame the ref if I'm gonna say that over a 15-minute period of the game, these tiny little calls went this way, that way, and like you go like that fucking meme where you're like have that crazy map and you're like just like pointing like a fucking conspiracy theory, like, well, if they didn't like call this holding over here, and then on this drive right here, they didn't call that, we would have gotten that fourth and wouldn't have been 30 and 5, it would have been 1 and 10. Like, no, like if I see that there's a touchdown, there's a clear touchdown, and the ref calls it back, I'll be like, all right, Chase, you got it. They fucked you right there. If I see a clear, pass interference that is
you're telling me 2 pick sixes, both of them shouldn't have been called back? You're telling me both pick sixes?
Ultimately, it doesn't matter, right? If your team was that much better, they'd have won.
But we're not that much better. We're not that much better. I'm not out here telling you we're the number 1 team in the country. I've never said that at all. But when you play the number 15 team in the country and you're not ranked at all, then obviously nobody thinks that you should be playing that game. That game shouldn't be that tight to begin with because you're not even in the top 30 and you're sitting here hanging it to the 15 team in the country. So I'm not saying we're better team-wise, personnel-wise, none of that. But what I'm saying is whenever you step up there and line up, whenever you get 2 pick sixes pulled back, you finally start driving again in the fourth quarter, and then they keep pulling you back. Every time you gain 10 yards, you're losing 15 on pity-patty flags, and the other side is not. That's whenever you look at it and you say something's going on.
But maybe those things happened because your team was committing the penalty, you think?
To a degree, some of them, yes.
Like without, like
when
if
the announcer looks and says, "We can't see the flag."
But announcers are these like old 56-year-old dudes that are in the box. Like they can't see shit. They're so far away.
Kirk Herbstreit can't see.
How old is Kirk? Like, dude, he sure he has the best vision? Dude, you can pay me to do this, and I could say, oh, I didn't see any fouls. If you actually pay me to,
I'm off.
Come on, man.
I'm off.
All right, I think we gotta let Chase on the hook. No, he defended. Chase defended.
No, but to be fair, like hey, South Carolina put up a good fight.
He defended his Cox.
It's fair. You guys feel like you should have won. It's
Andrew, honestly, look, guys, like Chase, great job coming on here and defending your people. In your team against the dreaded referees of the SEC.
Well, let me just say this. One thing
they cost y'all.
One thing, and I'm done. And this is it. What gets you so pissed about all this is South Carolina is not a top tier SEC school. We never have been, and we're clawing.
That's not a news flash.
We're clawing to get up there. Calm down, Kent State. We're clawing to get back up there. But the SEC is so hard to win in anyways, and it's so hard to get those games and win those SEC games. And when you see that you're getting ready to go into a gauntlet of Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas A&M. Half of them you're not playing at home. You're playing away. And it's not getting easier from here. It's getting harder to get those wins. Whenever you get those small little games like that and you feel like you're getting tarnished just a little bit, or the ball, it's not even rolling your way. You don't need to roll your way. Just roll straight down the line where either team can get it. That's whenever it pisses you off so bad. It's like this isn't the ACC or the Pac-12 where you drop one game. You're like, it's okay. We play one more ranked team the rest of the year. You're getting ready to get hit in the teeth for the next 6 weeks. So that's why this game rubs people so wrong in South Carolina, because you feel like you got cheated to a degree. And at South Carolina, we lose. Okay, we win and we lose. We do a lot of losing who. So it's not like all of a sudden we lost. We're not Bama and we're like we got cheated because we lost one game this year. It's not that. So and it's not like we win out. We beat LSU all the time. LSU normally beats us. We should have won that game Saturday. The refs did impact the outcome of that game. And I don't care who I'm watching. I'm going to be watching South Alabama versus Texas Tech, Louisiana State University. I don't like referees interfering with a game, period.
Amen to that.
That's a good point. I mean, you guys had over 120-something yards of penalty yards. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy.
Never seen that before.
Yeah, like you guys had almost as many penalty yards as LSU had rushing. So
yes, and this isn't week one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If it was week one and your team's just that undisciplined, we already have somewhat of a resume, and we have a coach that's been here a couple years. So you see the teams that he produced. So
speaking of tough schedule in the SEC, I want to kind of like transition next to how ridiculous it is, and Chase kind of like nailed this. When he said, like, you can't afford to lose these games that you had it in the bag. And it's so true because, like, we looked at the AP top 25. Naveen flashed the screen. And what was it? It's 4 out of the top 5 teams are in the SEC. And Tennessee sits at 6.
So basically we're doing some power rankings here.
Yeah.
Five
Let's bring them up.
Let's bring them up. So think about Oklahoma, for example. I think we debated when we went through the SEC schedules during the offseason. Oklahoma and Florida had the toughest schedules out of any college teams. But now that Florida State looks, not as great, I actually think Oklahoma has the toughest schedule of all college football teams, because Oklahoma, for the next 6 weeks, they're about to play how many teams within top 10? I think they're about to play 6 teams in the top 10 in over the next 7 weeks.
It's Tennessee,
crazy.
Texas, Georgia, and Alabama.
It is. Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss.
Don't forget Ole Miss. Yeah. So it's Tennessee, number 6. Texas,
and South Carolina.
1. Ole Miss. Missouri. Missouri is also 7, right? So Alabama, LSU, number 16, and South Carolina, which, South Carolina is unranked,
Honorable
but I think
mention.
we can all agree that, honestly, I can't believe South Carolina is not ranked. When LSU is ranked number 16.
Hold on.
Amen. I agree.
I think South Carolina
beat Kentucky.
Sure. Who the fuck has LSU beat? South Carolina.
I mean, like, who's Illinois beat?
Oh, Illinois is looking good. But look,
why'd you stutter so much?
Northern Illinois is in there?
Yeah, they beat Notre Dame, number 5 team in the country.
They beat Notre Dame, and now they're up there. Notre Dame
sucks.
Notre Dame.
This is
it's
not.
week 4. Who gives a fuck about rankings?
Okay.
I do.
Let me piggyback up.
Nobody on this fucking screen gives a shit about week 4 AP poll rankings.
Andrew,
it's true.
But I think because you have ranked wins that make difference in your future rankings, right? Like, what is Northern Illinois doing in the fucking top 25? The only reason they're in there is because
to pad Notre Dame stats for when they can make the playoffs later on.
Right.
That's
it. But that matters, right?
But nobody's putting any stock. Nobody's putting any stock that's saying, oh, well, because we're the number 4 team in the country right now, or number 5 country,
it doesn't
or whatever.
matter for the top teams, but I think it actually matters for top 15 to 25, because do we actually have any idea after, say, like 15 to 16, Like say LSU versus Notre Dame, or Michigan versus LSU, or Louisville versus LSU, Louisville versus Oklahoma.
No, I would say none of it matters, because as soon as one of those teams loses that are 15 and below, they're going to drop. The only reason why LSU didn't fall out is because they got pounded by a team that's already in the top 12, top 15.
But they weren't
Notre
initially.
Dame, they have Jesus on their side, so that's why they didn't drop.
No, look, we already covered this. I think Andy gave us the real reason. It's for rankings,
the viewership.
It's definitely for rankings and viewership. Yeah, it's all about money, and that's the thing, right? Like you want to pad this. It's very easy to sort of pad the stats of one team by giving a rank to another team, because like you said, nobody cares. Nobody's debating.
Yeah, nobody cares
15,
about what you're
15
ranked
versus
right
17, or even 17 versus 25, versus like 30 versus 18. Nobody's debating that. People are debating the top 10, perhaps.
But I see you guys don't believe in the inertia, because like I feel like I believe in the way people vote, and it carries on to the CFP committee, is because all they have to judge is how many ranked wins do you have, and ranked wins come from the fact that somebody's ranked.
Yeah, but rank wins only matter at the end when they're looking to see if they're still currently ranked versus their FPI.
Right. But how do you determine where this one team should be currently ranked? Is by looking at their resume and saying they beat this team, right? Like it definitely plays an impact. Like there's no way that we can sit here in a straight face and say it doesn't play a role at all, right? Like why is Alabama above Tennessee? Right, like Alabama should not be above Tennessee. Come on.
No, but we know the fake.
Why is Ole Miss above Tennessee? Like why the fuck is Ole Miss
historical too, right? They have
right.
That
So
whole, they have
does
that
it
whole
matter?
escape
Yes,
hatch.
I think it does.
With the
I think it
historical
does,
rankings,
especially for teams like Ole Miss.
What I'm saying is, there's nothing in week 4 that's objective. 1 through 25.
But this is why this current segment is called "Fake or Real Teams." And what's good about
let's get to the teams.
But we're using. But that's let me clarify. We're not using AP 20. We're not arguing AP 25 here. We're using AP 25 as a list, right? Because what are we gonna debate?
It's a starting point. Yeah,
it's a starting point. Exactly.
Yeah, let's get to the teams.
Let's get to the teams. Let's bring them up. Let's bring them up. Let's
go
down the list.
Give me 2 real teams. Outside of top 5 currently, and 2 fake teams.
All right. No, that's not a top 5.
Go ahead, Naveen. Lead us off.
We need the top 5. No,
I think top 5 is like pretty like fair. No, other than Bama.
I will say that USC is a real team.
Wait.
Everybody vote.
USC or
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I'm talking about the real USC. Chase.
The men of
I'm pretty sure I said that one. No, didn't I say USC was good this year? Like 4 weeks ago.
Yes,
I told you guys.
You also said fucking Colorado would be undefeated. So shut up, Frank.
They slipped up a little bit.
They
slipped up a little bit.
They are.
But hey, you can't win them all.
Go ahead.
I'm also going to say that just to get a rise out of Josh, that Penn State is a real team.
They haven't even played week 3.
Okay. Hey. Okay. Penn State is a real
team.
Who's your fake team?
Fake teams.
Who's your fake team out of the top 25 right now?
I can't wait to hear this.
Fake team is...
Go, do it. Say it. It's right here. You can just read it
Michigan.
right on the screen. There we go.
Michigan is a fake team, and Notre Dame is a fake team.
Okay, that was easy.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
So you think Notre Dame is a fake team?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, they did look okay against Purdue. They exercised some demons for sure up in Boilermaker country. So real teams for me outside of the Vols, I think obviously, I know I sound like a complete homer. Tennessee's a fucking legit squad this year. But outside of Tennessee, if I'm looking into the rest of the top 10, give me Miami. I think Miami is a real team this year. They went on the road. They took care of business in, the dumpster fire that is Florida with all that pomp and circumstance. And they play in a pretty pedestrian ACC. So, I think they're going to get their automatic bid. They're going to make the playoffs, and they've got a lot of good talent in that team. So Typically, I wouldn't give maybe like the front runner of the ACC a nod to being a real team, but I think Miami's is gonna be in the playoffs. I think they're not going to be undefeated. I think their blemish is coming this weekend, though. And South Florida, they're going to be a tough team. My second real team, man, I'm going to have to say, and it pains me to say it, but I have to agree.
Say it.
USC.
Say it.
Wait, USC, the men of Troy, Southern California, also a real team. Fake teams are real easy.
How are you guys taking USC as a real team? I don't understand.
Because they're finally listening to me, Roman. I said this 4 weeks ago. Miami and USC.
So
I told you guys.
Fake team.
Look,
I'm gonna
actual reasons other than Frank saying it. Frank says, other than that.
What is anybody else up a lot of money right now this year betting college football?
No, but what is?
I mean, I'm up a lot of money so far. So
they beat LSU.
I'm doing pretty well in college. I just punted all back in NFL, so
they beat LSU. LSU that we saw could barely hang on against. So South Carolina. Chase, just don't take it the wrong way, but they barely hang on against South Carolina. South Carolina did everything they can to lose that game, and this is the team USC struggled against. And you guys are calling them real?
No, they're not.
All right, so Roman,
they're not.
Let's jump right over to your
Michigan,
picks.
dude.
For your fake teams and real teams.
Well, USC is definitely a fake team, and if you guys look at this, okay, you know what? If you guys are actually saying that, then I better see $5,000 out of each and every one of you in your bookie on USC against Michigan, because the spread is fucking 6. And according to y'all, right, they're playing the most fake fucking team out there and is the most real team playing them. The spread is 6. So think about that, right? What are the bookies telling you? They're saying, oh, all these guys right here that are up money and are so smart about college football, they all believe that shit. Let's give them the most ridiculous line to bet on.
Yeah,
they don't even have to worry about. They don't even have to worry about the hook. You don't have to worry about this.
It's
6.5.
just
You don't have to worry about this
Jalen Hurts minus 5.5. It's easy.
Oh yeah, there you go. We saw it. Yeah. We saw it live yesterday. Minus 5.5. Eagles. Wow, great. Listen, this is that game is going to go exactly that way. USC is a fake team. Super
USC,
fake.
the Southern Cal, not South Carolina.
Look, out of respect for Chase, I won't say more about South Carolina. but Chase had a good point. It's not like we have when you say fake or real, right? It's like this. Okay, for example, I'll say that Georgia is not a fake team, but because they are ranked, people think of them highly. So I'm saying they're a fake team, right? It's that's kind of how you have to go about it, right? You can't call you there's no expectations for South Carolina to do much. And if anything, I'll say that I'll apply the same logic I applied to Michigan. South Carolina is definitely punching up right now. They had that game. They lost it. They should have won it. We would have been asking ourselves, are they a real or fake team had they won that game? They haven't, so this is just not a conversation, but they're punching up. So the one team that I've been saving this moment, because I did come in here with the Michigan gear on, but I came here with a Lone Star beer. As you guys know, I'm no stranger to drinking on the pod. So I got to crack this one open for my Texas boys. They are a real team. And maybe the big question that, we could have asked on this pod today was, who is a more real team? Is it Tennessee or is it Texas? I think it's going to be an interesting battle of the orange this entire year. I loved what I saw from Texas last week. What I loved is that they played goddamn everybody at every position, and Arch Manning looked fucking great. So if Quinn Ewers goes down for whatever reason, this is like Alabama with Tua. Arch is going to come in, and that might be a better quarterback on that team anyway. So I think what Texas has done, even though they didn't hang up 70 or 80 points, probably could have. But what they did is they showed us Arch Manning, They showed us their second stringers, their third stringers, and they didn't let up for a minute. They did absolutely destroy me by fucking not covering that 1H. But I forgive them that. But they are a real team this year.
Yeah. The only interesting thing with Texas is like if Quinn Ewers is really that injured or not, you know? If he's really injured and he's going to be out for a while, it's going to be interesting to see how it's just going to be interesting to see if Manning can actually show up against a big school. You know, that was a flush school.
Like for 3 or 4 touchdowns, right? Like what did he score? And then they had another, like a third string quarterback threw another 2.
He played against the worst team in all of college football, though, Roman. Like literally the worst team.
What do you mean?
They might not win a game the whole year.
Tennessee just played the worst team. You told us Kent State, who lost to St. Francis, is the worst team.
Yeah.
Right. UTSA is not the worst.
One of the worst. You're right. Kent State's the worst. UTSA, second worst. But it'll be a real test, like playing a big school, is what I mean.
Let's go back to Josh. Let's go back to Josh because he forgot to us with fake teams. He forgot to tell me that Michigan and Texas are a fake team. We are really waiting to hear that, Josh.
No, I'm good, man. I'm all right. Chase, let's go to you, man. Real and fake.
All right, the real teams. I think the top 6 are right, other than 3 and 4. I think Ohio State and Alabama are fake teams. Ohio State, I don't think that they're that great. I think they're going to ride a decent season all the way to the 12-team playoff, and they're going to expose, and then they're gone.
What makes them fake? What makes them fake so far? Was Ohio State's first game against Akron that made them look fake to you?
Well, it's not that there's a certain way that whenever you're in the top echelon, like the top, there's always a fall off of college football. The top 3-4 teams, and then if you'll watch the rest of the pack, you can see that type of explosion, the difference in the athlete, the difference in the coaching scheme. Like you see it even when they play little schools, like Tennessee
it's like,
this weekend.
Watching Team USA play some, like
Nigeria. It is. You're like, what they're supposed to win, but the way they win. And I don't see Ohio State just don't impress me with the way that they win. They can put the points up, but I just don't see it. I'm not seeing. They're not going to at the end of the year. They won't be a top 4, top 5 team. And Alabama, I think they're top 10, but they're not top 5. They're not. And I think that's for Alabama, that's a fake team because they're not sitting where they're supposed to be in the rankings. Real teams, you go outside. But other than that, I think, your Texas is real, your Georgia's real, your Ole Miss is real, your Tennessee's real. The hype is real with all those teams. I think Mizzou is real, as much as I hate to say that because I can't stand them. But if you get outside the SEC, because you're going to have to with the 12 team, Miami, and I'll go back to one more team I think it's going to be fake. Whenever I say fake, I think it's going to be fake at the end of the year because we're looking at the top. So if I'm looking at the top, I also think Oregon is. I don't think Oregon's going to do anything once we get down to 12. And there's one more fake team, but they're number 16. That's LSU. LSU is going to lose another 3 ball games this year, and they won't be. Sure. They won't be in the top 25 by the end of the year.
My family.
I think I'd agree with that. The LSU take. I watched that whole game. Man, the amount of mistakes that LSU was making throughout the course of the game. I mean, both teams, but LSU must have made 15 or 20 mistakes throughout the course of the game. I mean, they should have lost by LSU should have lost by a lot. I don't know how the hell the game was like.
That just before you came on the pod.
I mean, they definitely should have lost by at least 2 touchdowns.
By 2 touchdowns, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think LSU's any good. Honestly, I don't know how they won that game. It's just a miracle. I mean, the other teams.
Apparently, it was the referees. That's how they won.
So I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap up this session. So I think, and I think Chase brought it up. I think Oregon is one of those fake teams. You rarely see teams inside a top 10 slip in rankings after they continue to win, but that's what happened with Oregon, right? Like they started the season and they went 2-0 and they slipped. I mean, this week they stayed at 9, but they slipped because they did not look impressive. And even though they beat Oregon State, what the fuck, Oregon State really barely moved them, and for a reason. So I think Oregon is like the number one quote unquote fake team, and the second team I would say the fake team is Missouri. I don't know why Missouri is ranked so high to begin with.
Sir.
And like if we think about like Boston College, right? Like why were they ranked to begin with?
Because they beat Florida State.
And that's where I come back to why
And their head
rankings
coach.
matter is that because Florida State started the season ranked so high, after they lost their first game, they were still ranked. And after Boston College beat them, it gave them a ranked win, which is the only reason Boston College was ever ranked to begin with. Now,
yeah, but if Boston College loses one game and 0-3 Florida State win is not going to keep them in the top 25.
No, but it kept Missouri afloat. I guess is what I'm trying to say is that Missouri is at top 7. And honestly, the way Missouri played Boston College, I don't believe Missouri belongs in top 10. But
no,
you can't ding them 5 spots for beating a ranked team. And that's the only reason why Missouri is sitting at top 7. So my biggest fake teams are Missouri and Oregon. My real teams, I guess, outside of the top 5, unlike Roman, who just picks number 1 team to be the realest team, in the country. It's like picking Mayweather to be the realest guy in his division, or picking like Federer at Wimbledon, or Nadal at Roland Garros to be the realest guy. So, outside of top 5, like as we're supposed to, I honestly think Oklahoma State is punching above their weight, and I think Clemson, surprisingly, and I know Clemson got their ass kicked by Georgia, but I think Clemson is punching above their weight relative to where we started the season, and I think they're gonna end up winning the ACC.
No, the hell, no,
That's
no
fucking
hell,
crazy.
no hell, you out your mind.
We'll see, right? Like NC
We
State,
will.
where are
You're
they?
going to be wrong.
Florida State, where are they? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the ACC? Who's gonna win the ACC?
Miami.
The U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Miami's
U.
going to win by a
This
lot.
is where I'm with Roman.
Not close.
Miami is just like A&M and Notre Dame. They always start out hot. They're going to lose some games they should not lose. And at the end of the season, we will revisit this. At the end of the season, Miami is going to have some dumbass loss. They should not. Just like
Miami-
Tennessee.
Oh, yeah,
like
they
2
will.
years
They
ago.
absolutely will.
Tennessee
They
shouldn't have lost
absolutely
to
will.
South Carolina, but they did. And
Miami
Miami's going to
is
have exactly
solid.
one of those losses. Come on.
No, Kentucky should have lost South Carolina.
Sure.
All right. Let's move on to the next.
Week 3
recap.
recap. Me coming in 2-0. So I think I'm in like 88% for all my picks so far going into week 4. Not to brag, but that's pretty good. Naveen is 4-5. Roman 2-8. So again, continue to fade him. Andrew 2-1. Frank 1-2 for a combined 11-16. So we didn't even get to 500 this week. Had some big winners, had some big losers. Biggest loser of them all being Roman.
Y'all suck.
That looks like a baccarat. We're sitting at a table and we just see the L's just coming.
Yeah.
L.
Player.
No, the thing is, I mean, but the thing
player.
is- Oh, I didn't even want to look at that. I didn't
Yeah,
want to look at that.
we don't either.
Half those games. I mean, just losing by a point, losing by
Half point.
point. What
But
one
guys,
score,
for the
letting a
listeners-
garbage touchdown come in.
Yeah, for the listeners, and this sucks because Roman continues to put his college picks as his official picks for the week instead of the NFL, where in the NFL he goes like 75-80%, but
I wouldn't go that high.
he insists. Hey,
Naveen's calling cap.
but even if you fade your own picks, at the end of the day, if that's what you bet on, right, that's your record, right? Like it's like stepping up to the table and you see this Russian guy, and you look at him. It looks like Roman. You're like, all right, this guy picked banker. I'm gonna pick player, and that's the only reason you have. But you pick the player, and if player wins, that's your win, right? For the same reason, Roman actually faded himself, and he went like 80% in the NFL. But what he refuses to do is he doesn't put that as his picks. He sticks to his original picks as his official
college
picks
only.
for the pod.
College only.
So there we have it, boys. For the listeners, if you want to continue this streak, and Roman's sitting at nice and pretty 27%. 27. What's known as the KMS Club. Rest in peace, Kurt, or all of the other celebrities that ended early. But hey, if you just pick against Roman's picks, you will go
rich.
73%. So let's look at it, guys. Let's look at it this week. What can you fade right now? Come on, Naveen, show us.
All right. So right now, best bets I'm going to have locked in USC -5.5. I'm going to go Tennessee -6.5. Ole Miss 33.5. And USF +17. I'm telling you, take USF +17 and also outright winner. Oklahoma State +1.
Outright winner.
Whoa. Yep. Oklahoma State +1.5. It's going to be a good game there. Almost a pickup. So Naveen, go ahead. Best bets, my good man.
Tennessee -6.5, USC -5.5, Arizona State +3, Cal +2, USF +17, BC -6.5, Washington State -13.5, and Memphis -9. I'm concerned because I don't have as many picks as these other guys, and I'm worried I'm not DJing enough.
You should be concerned that half of your picks are also my picks.
That should actually
that is a reason for concern for you.
Andrew, go ahead and hit us with your picks, man.
So it's actually funny. I was talking to Naveen about this earlier. So my initial picks were Tennessee -7. Or at the time when I initially made the pick, it was 7.5. But I've seen lines as low as 6.5. So I thought, okay, 6.5, that's no brainer. And then Syracuse, and then Illinois, and Oklahoma State +1.5 were my original 4 picks. And then I realized, wow, those are all the teams that have orange as their primary color. So I thought about it, going back to Roman's theory last week about the narratives in college football. And I thought, why not? So this week I'm going with all the orange teams. So Clemson, Oregon State, UTEP, Texas, Bowling Green. I have no reason other than the fact that they're orange teams. So I'm going with it. So it's Tennessee, Syracuse, Illinois, Clemson, Oklahoma, Oregon State, Bowling Green, UTEP, Texas. And that is my parlay, actually. I'll show you guys a slip. And, it's funny because, just because we're Lucky Top Sports and we used our, Tennessee color as our banner color, while we had the banner up, it was all covered in orange. So I think that's perfect. So there's your parlay to unfuck all of your balance issues that you have with your bookies or DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever. Just go with the Orange Crush. That's it.
Chase.
Little sister.
We were in college before they were a state. Anyways, yeah, Cyclone's gonna smoke Akron. You can take that. I got Nebraska.
But you think they're gonna cover 28 points?
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this.
I think so too.
ODU.
Kent State, bro. Calm down.
Ohio State didn't even fucking cover against Akron.
Just listen to me. Our starting quarterback's not in this week. So the one you saw the whole second half, the backup, Robbie Ashford.
Yeah, he's trash.
That's starting quarterback this week. So I don't know if they cover.
Well, you got him on there as your best bet, -28.
Oh my God. I can't wait for y'all to play a real team this year. And then, but yeah, outright win. South Carolina is going to win. To cover the spread at 28, I still think the defense is going to suffocate Akron.
Hedge.
So, but yeah, I'd say go with that. I still got Nebraska. I still got Southern Cal. I think both of those are locked in bets. I got Utah. I think they cover the spread, and then Tennessee. I mean, I'm rolling with Tennessee. I think they still cover the spread.
Hey,
Wait,
GBO.
Chase, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you like Nebraska?
Why?
Yeah.
Is
it because the quarterback looks like Patrick Mahomes?
No, I think that's weird.
That's what it is.
No, I like the way Matt Rule runs a college program. I don't think he's built for the NFL. And I think he always has very good college programs. And I think that his program works
just like Baylor, right? Yeah, Baylor was great.
Yeah. And so I think from what I saw with Nebraska, not just beating on Colorado, I think that Nebraska will be a pretty decent team this year. I don't think they're going to win like 11, 12 ball games, but I think from what we've been seeing from Nebraska, I think they're going to be pretty good. But that's why I got Nebraska to cover right there.
Damn, you sound so much better now. I don't know what you did, but
I
had the mic laying to the side while y'all were talking about bullshit.
I only asked because you and I have conflicting picks here, right? So should we do a gentleman's bet then? Nebraska, because I have Illinois.
Okay.
Shake hands, $100, gentleman's bet.
Sure.
Don't go through DraftKings or any of these platforms.
You better be careful with that guy, Chase. He'll take you for all your money.
You better be careful because you still got a bet that you lost to me that you ain't paid up on.
Whoa! Perfect chase back opportunity.
Don't look confused, Naveen. You remind him, bud. You were here.
Yeah, he's got to wear South Carolina.
I got to wear the hat, but you have to send me the hat, you idiot. Send me the hat. I even put it in the group chat that I owe you a hat wear because you guys beat fucking Kentucky.
Yeah, you were dick riding the Wildcats.
No, I wasn't dick riding shit. I was I was just keeping in mind just how trash of a poverty program that you fucking root for. And Kentucky just shit the bed.
It amazes me that Tennessee is supposed to be like a blue blood of the SEC, and y'all still beat off to beating like Kent State and stuff. Like
no one here was beating off to beating Kent State.
It always gets me so like everybody in the SEC, we all just kind of look at Tennessee with like one of them looks.
What do you guys beat off to? Like a fumble recovery against Michigan from like fucking 15 years ago? Beating Alabama in 2010. Shit. Is that what you guys hold on to?
Upsetting you and Williams-Brice less than 2 years
Yeah, you rushed the field. That's right. Tennessee is a blue blood because you fucking idiots rushed the field when you beat us. So there you go.
Y'all
blue blood, baby.
Playoffs. Supposed
That's
to be
right.
in the playoffs. How'd that work out?
Probably as well as you guys make the playoffs.
You was at home just like us watching TV.
That's right.
Well,
that's right.
Let's I guess the next
phase of the week
to hear from our Michigan man who we hope shows up to Oklahoma in his Texas gear. So it's very complicated. He's a Michigan man, but he wants to rock the Texas gear to Oklahoma while staying on the Lucky Top pod.
That's crazy.
That's very complicated, guys, as you can see. Very complicated. Very complicated.
Yeah.
So let's hear it.
Okay, I don't get a banner. I just go like this.
No, you get a banner.
They don't want to put a banner over Chase's face and Iceman's face
Frank's
down
face?
there, but yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I put up here.
Talk to upper management. He's the one. Management's the one complaining.
Some money lines here just to get some units back.
And there's a reason why we keep the odds column, right? Because I feel like whenever you take those bets where the odds are like in your favor, you should be rewarded for it properly. Like it's not just
I
about
should be. Yeah.
picking
So I'm
like
taking some money
ML, right?
lines.
Yeah, exactly. So
But
let's hear
look,
it.
yeah, just Andy already mentioned,
Illinois, man,
Illinois.
Orange team, good.
It's
Come on, guys.
It's a good money line this week.
That's a team of 2024. Orange
Careful,
team, good.
We'll
Texas,
get
Illinois,
deplatformed by
Tennessee,
Google.
they're good. They're good.
Careful.
Ohio State this week. I'm just gonna continue rolling and losing. This line has a hook, 24.5, so that's a guaranteed loss. I'm still gonna take it. 24.5, 1H for OSU.
Well, as a Michigan fan, you're taking the hook for Ohio
Yeah,
State,
I mean that's the only 1H that looks good to me, except for South Carolina, but we'll get there.
Okay.
Kansas,
Yeah.
West Virginia, over 56. Just look at how those teams are scoring up to this point. That 56 is way too low. Iowa State, the team they're playing, that game is not even going to go to 30 points. It's going to be like maybe Iowa State like 17-0 or something in that range. The other team, their opponent's not even going to score. Michigan money line. I've talked about this at length already. I know that everybody else has USC. I have to just ask the fans to ask themselves one question.
I like it.
Everybody thinks that USC is such a great team, and Michigan is such a bad team. How come the spread is 6 points?
Eagles of Monday night.
Yeah. So just know that the right play was Falcons money line yesterday. Right play this Saturday is Michigan money line right there.
What do you know about money line? I feel like Michigan's spread is definitely a lock, but you going
with
money line?
Yeah, I just gotta chase. Just gotta get some points back, but
Pussy.
gotta get some points back. Penn State 1H. They're coming back off a bye week. That's again, we need to find ways to take these teams in the first half. I would advise to think about the full game in case there's the whole like shortening the period thing comes up. So let's make sure that we, protect ourselves. Just take the first half. This is an interesting one. ASU, they're covering. I'm just gonna keep riding the teams that cover. There's gonna be a team that covers at an 80% clip for the rest of the season. Just pick them and ride them. Right now, it's ASU and Boston College. This is why Boston College and ASU are on there. They are covering. Okay. Keep riding the teams that cover. Cal.
That's the same reason you're riding Cal, because they've been covering since like the Auburn game.
Yeah, and then look at then South Carolina. I think this is a really great place to take a team that is probably being beat down in the just kind of like there's a negative outlook on them, right? And yes, they're playing Akron, and yes, Josh was like, Akron, they even Ohio State didn't cover anything. That spread was 48.5. And the drop-off between, these SEC teams and these bullshit teams are so huge that, this 28 is disrespectful. 28 points to an SEC opponent against Akron, who, by the way, lost like 40, was it 40, 52, 56, something like that, to Ohio State. Ohio State that half of us said is fake. So this is the right time to take South Carolina, team that's down.
I like it.
That's gonna come back and win.
Fake
1H there.
Yeah, think about Akron as a town too, right? Where LeBron was born, where Steph Curry was born. That town is just known for fakes. Fake athletes.
I mean, but it's the same thing. They're taking money to show up, right? Remember, they're doing the same. This is why we're taking, like, again, Penn State, right? Penn State playing Kent State, right? Like, same thing, right?
Well, Penn State is different because I feel like Penn State, all they do is they're able to beat every other team except Michigan and Ohio State. Like
I think they're going to beat Ohio State this year.
Job.
They're going to beat Ohio State this year.
Whoa!
I'm gonna call it here right now. This is where we're gonna see that Ohio State is fake when they come and play Penn State. Michigan's probably not going to beat them, but that's fine.
I mean,
what was that pick? What did you say?
Penn State will beat Ohio State this year.
Oh, you're crazy!
At Penn State,
you're crazy.
But Roman, let me ask you this: if Penn State can beat Ohio State,
Biggest fraud.
why wouldn't they be able to beat Michigan? Come on.
No, why? No. Penn State might beat Michigan. I'm saying that Michigan won't. I don't know
I
if
see.
Michigan and Ohio State. I don't know how Michigan and Ohio State is going to play out. I would rank them the same this year, right? Like I wouldn't say that.
No, that's true because we all agree that Ohio State doesn't belong in the top 5 right now, right? So,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Penn State is going to be there in the top 10. To Josh's demise, Penn State is going to be there.
Yeah.
And
okay. So then, can we maybe talk about window shopping, hedging, live betting, and then maybe we'll talk about the best bet slip of the week. And I think
sure. Let's do it.
All right, Roman. So when's a good time to live bet or hedge a bet? You asked this a lot.
Yeah. I'm the one asking the question. Don't make me answer.
So for me, and this does not, by no means this is like a universal truth or anything, but I always stick with this principle. Is that for me, numbers are numbers, right? And there's a reason why stats and probabilities and whatever become credible, is that we see like number of observations and all that, and this is like a high school, college level statistics and probabilities class, and in a short like amount of time, or in like a small number of sample size, anything is possible. And that's why March Madness is exciting, right? Because the March Madness, you only get one shot, and you sometimes like you think Kentucky is gonna beat this like bullshit team from California, but guess what? There's gonna be a day that like this Oakland University with this future like State Farm accountant gets hot like J.R. Smith, and he throws like 9 3-pointers, and they lose to Kentucky. They lose to Oakland like Kentucky does, right? So and same for NFL. NFL single game elimination, very difficult to predict, because like you don't know, like and Josh brought up a good point earlier. Like NFL has like the margin of error in NFL is just that so thin that you fuck up that one opportunity to get that one touchdown or one first down, that impacts the game so much, right? And that's why in the NFL, like you don't see these like repeats in NFL, like as much as you think there is. So kind of applying the same logic in college football. So why is that the case? Like, and it's because like I think Chase was the one who brought it up. Like the athletes that we're dealing with, there's like an inherent like difference in the class of athletes, and I think we as Tennessee fans see that. Like when we had Joe Milton versus Nico Iamaleava, 5-star quarterback, it's night and day, right? Like Nico is going out there and crushing the teams. When we had Joe Milton, holy shit, we were up on Bama and we got shut out in the fucking second half and lose the game, right? Like that's a big difference that we make. So when you think about that principle, and again, like I only bring that up because I'm fundamentally, a guy who always sticks by that and say, if you want to pick an underdog, go with the first half, go with the less, statistical chance of happening. Like you're betting on sort of the variance, right? Like, because if you think about it, like that's why in the NBA it's so hard to like upset a team, because you go best out of 7, and when you play best out of 7, you sort out the variance. Like sometimes teams get hot, sometimes teams get cold, but best out of 7, you kind of settle that because with the increased sample size, it kind of like happens. Baseball is like a weird sport because baseball, sometimes it just really depends on your starting pitchers rotations, right? And it doesn't work out there, and that's why I think like NBA, the format that they have is the most fairest. So now coming back to why does that matter? So for example, if I want to bet on underdog, I always go first half. Like I always go first half, and that's been my like theory for a long time. And then here's where it gets interesting, and here's where everybody I think on this pod would agree. Do you pile the original favorite when they're down at halftime? Naveen, Roman, Josh, do you pile the original favorite?
Yeah, absolutely.
At halftime? But why do you guys believe that? Why? Because do you guys think that it should be, or like do you think that it's an anomaly that the underdog's up? Because like last night, for example, Monday Night Football, right? Like at half, Eagles won covering, and you had a choice. You could just ride with the Falcons, or you could double down.
Yeah, but that's where you kind of that's the risk, right? So you're going to get better odds, especially when the underdog's leading at half, when you're live betting, and you see that you can pile on the favorites. So good opportunity. But I think if you know ball a little bit, you can also look into the nuances of momentum and stuff like that. With the other teams. So
our Michigan man here in 2016 has made a lot of money by betting the Golden State Warriors whenever they were down. Like Roman would literally call Naveen or me or anyone in our friend group and say, "Hey guys, Warriors down 10 points at halftime. We have to go in right now." And the funny thing is that worked. That worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked.
But the question is like, there's a bit of calculus that goes in. What's interesting too is like in football, there's a bit of calculus that goes in terms of like the size. Like if you're windowing your bet, let's say, right, like or if you're live betting, like sort of like at which point does it make sense relative to the?
So let me ask you this question, Roman. Like, let's say if you had. Let's say hypothetically yesterday, right? If you had Falcons money line or like a spread to begin with before a pregame, and you see Falcons are kind of keeping up, right? They're only down by 1 at halftime. Are you the type to hedge if you had the Falcons to begin with? Do you bet Eagles from there so that you hedge out, or do you double down because you realize you fucking picked it right and this is your opportunity to double down?
I think so. I think that one thing to consider.
If you have a 6-5 against a king, do you?
Yeah, the question, so that, but see, like in sport, unfortunately, like in sports, we don't always get to redouble on a better line, right? So like when you want to double down, you end up doubling down on a worse line, right?
Right.
So that's the real problem there. But if you are on the wrong side, then you get the rebet.
Right, because you could get burned, right? It's like a doubling against an ace on like a 6-5 against an ace. You double, you get the ace. You have a 12.
You start fucking bringing in calculus.
What
goes in your mind? Do you double or do you hedge? No, so let's say if you had a parlay, for example, you had a parlay.
Save us.
Your last leg is riding on Falcons versus Eagles, right? five leg parlay. Let's just hypothetically say
do you hedge your fifth leg?
You hedge. Are you the type to hedge, or do you just?
I don't know.
Well,
my main question is,
I'm not much of a hedger. I'm more of a presser. I'll just press.
You are a presser.
Yeah.
That's why you and I don't do good at back together, because we're both pressers.
That's right.
We don't. Somebody needs to keep someone in check.
That's how we unalived. That's how we unalived a lot of money the last time.
Because you need somebody to like talk you through. Like, hey, is this the rational decision?
To talk you through the calculus.
When I made a $6,000 mistake, a single $6,000 bet, you were like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, and that's why again going back to
wait. What were the cards?
Oh, what do you think it was? It was 6-2 versus a 7-2.
Yeah.
We were on 6-2, obviously.
Yeah.
And we flipped first. We're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, daddy. Daddy.
Yeah, big
Daddy,
old
baby.
9 just came in.
Daddy.
Boom, 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 boom.
Daddy. But you know how it goes. So, again, I guess like what I'm
Wow,
getting at is
devastating.
like, you know,
Yeah.
people
It was
worry
pretty
about
rough.
hedging and live betting, right? My biggest pet peeve, I think, is that I stopped doing this actually. I don't put games that are outside of the shit in parlays. I actually don't anymore. Like let's say if I had like a 5-leg NFL parlay, and then some people do this. They have like 4 legs
Is
that
that
hit.
blue?
And on a Monday night game, they're like, oh, I have an Eagles ML in this parlay. And I would ask, why the fuck do you have an Eagles money line in your parlay on a Monday night game? Right? And I just feel like that doesn't make sense. So I only parlay games that are, you know, physically impossible for me to bid separately. And if I'm ever in a situation to hedge, I don't hedge. And again, that's why I lose.
But what about
sometimes.
Naveen? What about? Let me bring it to you. What about?
Yeah,
What about
bring it
like
to
like
Naveen.
a window? I want to
Yeah.
let's cover windowing too, right? Because you know, like you're up,
Yeah,
especially because
Naveen's a
it
window
also
shopper.
matters now. Yeah, but see, this also matters now at this stage of the season when you betting, you know, minus 35, minus 45, whatever, right? And you know the team goes up by, you know, they're up 51, they're up 55 maybe, right? We kind of slightly got a glimpse of that in Texas. I mean, I screwed up there, but doesn't matter, you know. But it's like you're covering the 45, it going into the fourth, but you know that you're resting all your starters, that it's your third stringers, maybe against their second stringers, maybe against their starters. You don't even know, right? Like what the other coach is thinking.
Yeah.
Like maybe he wants to punish the starters. But you know that your third stringers, these guys haven't seen the field as much. They're going to be making mistakes. It's very easy to get a 7 the other way, and then you know when you're betting like a minus 49, you guys were betting minus 49, right? Like this is like when do you say that that you can window that to a point where you know you're not going to hit yourself for windowing it, where like so large enough for you to sort of like capture the variance that can happen in the tail end of the game?
I think you got to ask yourself a couple questions. Are all my starters in? Are they going to stay in? Number one. If you're trying to do this at the half, is any key player injured? Do I get the ball first in football? I think windowing is a little bit easier in basketball because typically they don't do as many substitutions if they're up a lot. But as the resident window shopper, I just notice patterns that come up here, that whatever the level of football is at the at the last drive, the other team is always liable for a backdoor. So I just throw in occasional hedge against the backdoor if I'm within.
Yeah, looking at the things that you can buy, right?
Yeah. It's just it's part of your nature, and I think ultimately beyond all of this is I only do those things when I know the tendencies of the team. If it's some team I never watch, I'm not going to do any fucking windows because I don't know what the coach is liable to do, and that's ultimately where things go. Football, if I have above a 3-point window to a 7-point window, I think that's generally good. Basketball, 6 and above, that's what I go. So whatever
6 and above. Wow.
Yeah, whatever the teaser is typically is a good place to put your window, right? If your teaser is a 4.6 point, basketball, football, those are opportune times to.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So for determining like what's a good window, you basically rely on the Vegas wisdom and say if it's good enough for me to tease, that's a good window.
Yeah, I
like
that's
that. Yeah, because
Okay.
like for me, my theory is that like I don't window shop if I'm on favorite already, and if they're down. Like I don't like to pile more money into a losing hand, for example, so to speak, right? It's like for me, like I only do it if I already have the underdog at like past half.
Okay.
So All right. So last topic, I guess. Moving on, would be the best slip of the week. Is that right?
Yeah, let's close it out with best slips.
Best slip of the week. So
We got two.
right. So one is from Frank, who unfortunately had to leave us. And one is from me. So this is from me, but I can't really gloat about it because this wasn't my like official pick. The only reason I had this is because I had I was looking at my like couple of my different fantasy leagues, and in one of my leagues, I was going up against Kamara, and I thought, oh, perfect, my favorite fucking player. I'm going against him. He's about to fuck me. So I thought, okay, Kamara 3 touchdowns. That's a lock. So I put $100 on Kamara 3 touchdowns. And this is funny because I didn't even put any money on a single touchdown or 2 touchdowns. And he got like 2 touchdowns within like 5 minutes of the game. I think 5 or 6 minutes. Like it was like within the first quarter. And I was
How hard were you celebrating?
Not really that hard, because like it wasn't like I like hit a logic for picking Kamara against the Cowboys to have like fucking 3 touchdowns. I just, but you guys all know sometimes you just see it. You just see shit happening, and it's like when the dealer asks you insurance, and you sit there and think, no, fuck you. But she asks you again, insurance, are you sure? And you're like, oh fuck, wait a minute, do you have a blackjack? So that was kind of like my thought process. I had no logic other than the fact that I was going up against Kamara in one of my fantasy leagues, and I thought, oh, that would tilt the fuck out of me. One of my favorite football players fucking me over. So okay, but hey, it worked out. It worked out very, very handsomely.
Yeah, this is just real quick. Basically, on Sunday, in need of just resurrection, I just looked at the board, made 5 picks, and bet against all of them in a parlay. And the crazy thing there is that if anybody watched the games, Pats couldn't get it done in regular time. They had to go to OT. And I was sweating it hard, obviously. And we actually won the toss. So I thought, man, we are locked. But we
you realize they now changed the OT rules so that even if you score a touchdown, the other team still gets the ball.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, oh shit. See, I forgot that. That's crazy. No, but no, they didn't. Did they change that? No. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the Lions game? The Lions were
Lions won on the first study. Yeah.
Oh, is it just for the playoffs? Am I remembering that wrong?
I think so. Yeah, actually, maybe I remember something like that. But anyway, we won't fake news the fans with the rules, you guys. But anyway, here it was just. Unfortunately, that whole thing got reduced by half, so it didn't bring me back all the way from a 2-8 weekend. But it just comes to show you that after Saturday comes Sunday.
So NFL now, each team must have the possession. So even if you score a touchdown first, the other team still gets the possession.
That's right.
Yeah. They changed it because they I guess NFL got scarred by the fact that the 28-3 Super Bowl happened, and the Pats won the fucking coin toss and then won the money, won the bet for all of us. But since then, it was initially only in the playoffs, but now even in the regular season, each team at least gets one possession. So.
Okay.
Well, I like it better like that. But yeah, man, we covered a lot of stuff today. We belabored fucking South Carolina getting their damn ass beat by LSU for at least 45 minutes. So if you guys want to skip through that for all of our podcasters and our streamers, go ahead and we'll hit you with the bookmark. Save yourself that amount of time. But yeah, we had some good comprehensive discussion about the upcoming matchup with Oklahoma and Tennessee. We rubbed Roman's nose in his own terrible picks. Continue to fade him. Maybe he'll get a bounce back. He's going to come down to Norman with us this weekend, so he'll be in better spirits for sure. Naveen, unfortunately, he won't be with us, but he's got to take care of family business. He's got a wedding to attend. So congratulations to the newlyweds on the nuptials. But it's going to be a weekend to celebrate. Not only the coming together of a new family, but also an ass kicking you ain't seen this side of the fucking Mississippi, because Tennessee's going to roll down there and take care of business against the Sooners. Andrew,
I will say,
Josh, chime in.
It is a coming of the family, because the fans of Oklahoma are about to learn who their new papa is, and so in the spirit of things, they're about to learn who their daddy is, and that's gonna be Josh Heupel, the one that took him to the promised land.
That's right.
And what can I say? Hey, it's family business, no hard feelings. We're gonna go down there. We're gonna crush them. I have a feeling this is gonna look very similar to the LSU, where it's gonna be Tennessee. It's gonna be under. It's gonna be under because it's not gonna be competitive. And Tennessee is gonna walk out of there like a 38 to 15, and I pick only a weird number like a 15, because I think they will get like a couple field goals and like a one touchdown. Sorry, 3 field goals and like a touchdown, and then they're gonna try to go for 2 or some cute shit, and they're gonna fail. So there's my score prediction. And hey, at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a great week. We're gonna put up a lot of content once we get to Oklahoma. Like I said, I think it's very fascinating that they run their own tailgating. So Josh and I, and hopefully Roman, we're gonna go down there. We're gonna, do some reconnaissance. This tailgating pass for $25 includes food and alcohol. So we're gonna, if over 24 beers between Josh and I was ever in doubt, now you guys know it's all you can drink. So that's a lock. So we're gonna try to make some content for you guys. I really think it'll be fun for us to take some videos of like what the tailgating scene is like in Oklahoma, and we'll make some content about that, and we'll share our experience versus how we felt in Florida versus LSU, and we'll definitely be judging people in Oklahoma for how I guess welcoming they are, right? Like when we went to LSU, for example, everybody was just so nice, so welcoming. So we'll see. Oklahoma, you're up next, and coming for you.
Naveen, final thoughts.
Go Big Orange. Subscribe to Lucky Top Sports everywhere. Thank you. Good night.